Session 4 of 4 for the Veil. The Veil, which is becoming a perennial favorite here at the Gauntlet. I'm here with players who have played in this before and have played in other versions of the Veil before. And every time I've run or played it, it's been very, very different, which I adore about this. So today, we're getting the last session. I want to check in with the players about their beliefs because that's the experience point system. And then I'll do a recap. Now, we talked about this a little bit at the end of last session. Some people were still wondering. I want to check in. Maria, you pretty happy with everything you've got? Shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need to tell. My beliefs are, let me check. Humanity is frivolous and stupid. Regardless of humanity or lack thereof, strength comes from being true to yourself, and strength is all that anyone needs to survive.
Mm-hmm. You pretty good with those, or anything you want to change?
No, like anything that was changed was last session.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure and check in that you were cool with that, and I know you took essentially the I can deal with being outnumbered move last time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna slurp my coffee into the mic.
And I also have a beginning of session move if you need.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah. All right. It's 2d6. Oh, it's a 4, so I don't get humanity.
Okay, I can't remember if I don't think that triggers anything on that, but I'm gonna make a note.
Yeah, no, I don't think it triggers something.
Okay.
Well, it just says at the beginning of session roll without adding a state, and it doesn't have anything for misses.
Oh, well, then I'll just write down a little hard move note for myself later on. Just put that little box by it for a checkbox.
Because we really need one right around here, don't we?
Yeah, right at the start. So what about you, JB? Let's check in on your beliefs.
So I did change one of my beliefs. The one about Aladdin. And it's now changed to a double-edged sword, which is Aladdin's recklessness may be as dangerous as his ingenuity is necessary.
Nice. So to challenge that, he'd have to prove that he isn't reckless?
Well, that his recklessness gets us through, or that his recklessness totally fucks us, rather than the sort of like we're on a sword's edge at the moment.
Okay.
And just as far as other things, I did want to sort of, in a flag mentality, bring up one of the bits of my sanctuary, which, if not now, then when, which is an unexploded piece of weaponry that is still live. And I don't know if that's the bombshell itself in the physical world, because that would be pretty funny, or if it's some sort of like Veil bomb code thing. I'm not sure.
Ooh, yeah. Well, when you decide, I think there's a certain symmetry to it being the latter there, but you pick when it comes up.
Okay.
Okay. Prime, what about you? You pretty happy with your beliefs?
Yeah, my beliefs.
You're a little quiet.
Okay, let me see if I can adjust that. How's that? Is that better?
That's a little bit better.
I can do it better. Okay, maybe
there we go.
Okay,
yeah,
good. So my beliefs are, I believe life is independent of humanity, the Veil, or robotics. That changed since last session. The other ones are, I believe everyone's lost a part of themselves, and I can find out more about who I used to be by observing and talking to others. So I'm pretty good with all of that.
Okay.
I should also let you know that I am still spiked scared. But I have a new state, which is joyful. So I have scared and joyful. And I took a new move, which is interface. When I integrate with or open my mind to another intelligence that isn't human, you may name them as an NPC and establish their intelligence. When you merge with them, you're affected in some way, and the MC will tell you how.
Okay.
Love it so much. Love it. Please do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have a start a session move, right?
Yes. Okay.
Let's resolve that.
Yeah, let's see what that is. No state, so I rolled a 6.
Okay.
If it's a miss, I ask the question and the MC answers it. Exactly what I wanted. Do I feel or do I think I feel?
Given what we've been talking about, given the way we've been describing things, you feel.
Okay.
Deeply, humanly, you still feel.
Awesome. Good.
All right. And let us come to Aladdin.
Okay. Aladdin's beliefs are, I'm human, damn it, despite all the cybernetics I'm putting into myself. They're after me, which is the machine specifically. And Prime is my relative is the last one. And I hadn't realized this until today, that I guess I sort of set myself up for the Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker setup. But we don't have to go there. That was not intentional. That was subconscious. And I wanted to ask, I, for some reason, still have harm marked. And it's a light harm. Did we have the opportunity to
Yeah, light harm, I think clears pretty quickly in this game.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I think that one may have been my fault, where I tried to help you, or was that Prime? It was someone that I disastrously tried to fix. Oh, it was Prime.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. That was. Remember, I was the one standing by saying that, I could have helped here. This is my specialty, but no.
Yeah, you say that a lot.
Hey.
And you're in a new area that you've arrived at. That you guys are kind of casing the joint. Do you want to do the scrounge move here?
I could, and I wanted to remind you that I also I took the move just to go completely Borgish, assimilation, so I can steal from other people. So that might be fun if which I don't. That has to be so very anime. I just can't picture in battle like stealing it from somebody and incorporating it into myself quickly. But that's what the move makes it sound like I can do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'll just scrounge. But yeah, I guess there has to be sort of something that I can scrounge from.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things is that the veil in this area has been exposed. And so you can see all of the debris and detritus and open panels and things like that here. So if you want to scrounge from that seems fair because it's a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to try?
Sure, but I don't. Yeah, I'm just sort of at a loss trying to figure out what it is that I'm seeing so that I can figure out what I'm trying to scrounge for. But I'll give it a go. What the heck? It can't go wrong, right?
Oh yes. Oh.
We should probably recap in that case.
So to reframe where we are before he goes to scrounge. So last time the group gathered together, made their escape from those the Brotherhood of the Veil and the ones that had summoned the onomastics, the iconoclasts to yourselves. There were several movements around. The group investigated a number of different pieces, trying to track back, focusing kind of on the ones that attacked you. And there was a kind of a big blow up, and that was amongst the group, but that was keyed off of the sort of black box virus that you had taken, was activated and sent back to its creator. And in the wake of that, there was much discussion because you found out that what this virus did is it essentially awakened a section of the veil, but then kind of lobotomized it effectively. And so there was a lot of talk about consciousness and what that meant, and tension between everyone. Long story short, you were able to locate a section of the city where the veil has gone down. And you're certain that this is where this went back to. That you could go there and figure out exactly who the creator was and so on. When you get to the site, it's a kind of a edge industrial / warehouse area, and the veil is down. So rather than the sort of the bright sort of silvers and grays and whites of the veil, the sort of bright and clean, we've got the kind of the faded brown and patchwork green, the various bits of plant life that have grown up in spots that haven't been cleared away. And the buildings, some of them are kind of in pieces, incomplete. So there's stuff laying around that gets swept to the side by robots and stuff. The building itself is a couple stories tall. It's got some venting. It's got some windows. It looks like there's movement in the building, but it definitely looks like there's chaos around here. People who were in this section of the city are fleeing to areas where the veil is actually at. So that's created a certain degree of chaos there. So people have run. So the area is getting cleared out of essentially any kind of bystanders. They are running for dear lives. And all of you who are there are, at least for the moment, seeing the world as Nobu does. Does that seem like a fair assessment? Let me check in and see if I did miss any crucial pieces.
One small detail for the end here is we are actually all currently sort of veil constructed telepresences, as we're still physically in this small box sort of hurtling through the sewers. Catch up soon whenever is convenient. But
Right.
there is also the sort of funny note of like Nobu is wandering around in this very basic sort of stop motion avatar with just an open speaker phone coming out of the mouth from a communication device inside that box.
Awesome. And the detail that you picked up a low-grade, low-level signal from someone from the White Rabbit.
Yeah, an open channel or something.
I have a question. I have a question about this setting. So basically, the veil doesn't exist here, but whenever we bring something with the veil, like our avatars, does that present?
My sort of idea there was that since this was coming through that dark veil, it was basically hijacking the physical infrastructure of the veil that was still there. So we're like activating one node out of 100 just to make this little avatar around us, sort of thing.
That sounds fair. Is that cool with you, Prime?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was just curious.
So with that in mind, what do you think, Aladdin?
Actually, with that in mind, I think I know there are two options, and I'll have to check and see, make sure that JB's okay with both of them, because one of the things I could scavenge, of course, could be the live ammo or the live bomb that's in your sanctuary. The second thing would be, which I think is more interesting potentially, is since your sanctuary has this sort of projection capability of being able to project avatars and over it, there's something in there I might be able to scavenge to make sort of a camouflage suit that can make me look like other people, so that I could project different avatars over myself.
I'd be perfectly fine with either one of them. I think the bomb one sounds sort of funny too. But yeah, I do have that communication device not connected to the veil, so you can pull some sort of idea of independent veil control or things like that to do the camo thing.
And we've certainly established that your scrounge isn't necessarily physical. It can be picking up ideas as well and scrounging for those.
And JB certainly changes looks all the time.
Mm-hmm. Right, and Aladdin has been studying that.
Okay. And so why don't you go ahead and make that scrounge roll then?
Okay.
What do you want to roll with?
There we go. It's OmniTool. I don't think you do a state with that. I think it's just OmniTool plus. So I got a 9, which it is barely adequate for your purposes. Take -1 forward for the next junkware move. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay.
Yeah, that one's a fickle mistress. So I will say.
Yeah, I'll have to make a note that I have a -1 forward on that. Okay, so I picture everybody else like sort of like looking forward in the box that we're in, and in the back, Aladdin's sort of like, oh, this is interesting, sort of like yanking something out, and the wires are sticking out. He's like, and looking, making sure nobody else is looking at him while he's doing it, and then putting it, and everybody looks around, and he's behind his back, sort of comic thing, because he knows he doesn't want to piss off JB, but I really want this.
So let me set another detail into the scene as you. You're still in telepresence. We've got Nobu coming in. You three who are there and can actually get the visuals on this for the moment will see pull up what looks like a very nondescript now car. It's clearly, more like a van. Pulls up to the building, and you'll see people getting out. And it looks like a small group of those same people that attacked your shop, JB, and just like one of those squads, and they're heading to the building, but they don't look like they're agitated. Like they don't have their guns up. They're not, going into attack kind of thing. So they're heading in, is what you will see.
Does it look at all like the same squad, or particularly is that big guy there with them?
I will say that it looks like one of the squads because you can see that a couple of them have these trauma derms on them, and one of them probably still has this crack in their breast, essentially the hard breastplate from that kick that Nobu did. So yeah, it looks like that first squad that he took down has been sent over here.
Cool.
So while we're there, before the vehicle arrives and afterward, can the telepresence kind of look around and see what the lay of the land is?
Sure, absolutely. Do you want to do that as a analyze here?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Okay. So you're still unscared. So
I'm scared. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you get to take a box off of that now.
So it's at +1, so that's a 9.
Yeah, 9. So you get 2 questions to hold to spend on the analyze move here.
Okay, so let me look at that real quick.
Sure.
What if anything appears out of place?
This is a very odd building here. It looks like it's a well-used kind of industrial building, but it's very hodgepodge. You guess that it's made to be sort of deliberately quiet and unobtrusive in some ways. So that seems odd. And it definitely looks like there are people working in there. And it doesn't look like this is like some sort of villainous base or center for some kind of, hacker op. So that it seems odd to you.
Okay. And the other is, what's the best way in?
So there are a couple of choices. There are loading areas here. And that right now with the veil down, that means that the cameras are down in the area for sort of the standard grid. If you want to be less obtrusive, you could clamber up to one of the ventings that are there and enter that way on an upper floor.
Okay, so I share this information. I tell them that I don't see any record other than the obvious of the virus that came back. However, there is potentially a way around by going in from above where they would expect cameras to be, but the cameras would be down. That's a good point.
Okay. JB, anything before I slam Nobu into the scene?
No, I think I'm good at the moment, sort of intimidatedly looking up at that climb, looking down at my heels.
So Nobu, there is that disorientation of this trip, in this weird force-shaped box with your compatriots clearly doing that telepresence thing, where they're there, not there. That's super irritating.
Yeah.
and you will hit on sight and find yourself there
Yeah.
just as that team is pulling up and trundling out of that and kind of casually heading into the building.
Am I aware of what Prime said to go from above?
Yeah, because you have communications between each other.
Okay. Okay, then yeah, let's go from above. Do we have any equipment, or do I have to spend humanity to climb the walls or some shit?
Well, you could make a roll. I would let you spend humanity to essentially get your group up.
Sure.
Because you're the physical master here.
Yeah, I'll spend humanity. What's the roll?
I'm not going to make you make a roll for that. I think spending humanity, is a resource. You just have to tell me what that looks like when you. I know Prime can climb pretty well.
Yeah, I guess I just grab either Aladdin or Aladdin. I'll grab Aladdin and start climbing. I guess Prime grabs JB, and yeah, we're just climbing the side of the wall.
Okay, going up freehand.
Ow! Careful! You're. Are you everything angles? Is there anything on you that's not a corner? What's happening?
I think I'm saying, hold on tight. And I think, the arms and the hands and feet both kind of grab a hold and they kind of swizzle back up and down.
And I picture Aladdin clutching Nobu very tightly and closing his eye. Just let me know when we get there.
There's the crunch of Prime going in versus the kind of the athletic swing, grab, jump that Nobu does to get up. That leap into the void there, and you can get to. Do you want to go in on like the top floor, or do you want to hit the roof and then maybe do something up there? What do you think?
I guess roof, since we can just try to see what's going on from the roof.
Okay, so you can get up to the rooftop. It's again brown, green moss and things up here. It's actually got, because people don't come up to these places and things, dust and dirt that's been blown by the wind has settled here, and there's actually like some grass and things in little patches around. It's really weird to see that kind of growing wild and unkempt versus the sort of, if there are organics around, they're super carefully controlled, because people are worried about the wildlands that are nearby. But yeah, it's up here. There are several different like vents and egresses and things like that. And from the heat signatures you're getting, this isn't kind of an active building clearly doing work. And you can hear probably machines down below. You guess probably the first floor probably has a number of like big machines that are in that sort of rumble of standby mode. Like they're on, but they're not running right now.
Here's a question.
Sure.
Since I always see the world like this, do I know specifically where this is?
You mean where the part of the
location?
district?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know this district, yeah.
Yeah, so I basically know where this is in comparison to everything, and maybe even what this building is. I'm
gonna say, I think that this is kind of a specifically concealed building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kata. We'll establish that Kata is with you guys. So you would know that it feels unusual. But I'll say that you have seen. It looks like to you've always assumed it was some kind of secret factory, like people were doing stuff off the books, that kind of thing. Because there are definitely workers that have gone in and out of it. Does that seem cool?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So is there any other kind of analysis you want to do, or you want to head in? How do we want to do this?
How do we want to do this? I ask
Aladdin,
everyone.
First thing, Aladdin's give me a second. He's going to go over one of those patches of grass, get on his hands and knees, and vomit because he's nauseous from all the flips that that were happening on the way up. And then he'll stand up and say, and he's looking and he's saying, "Oh, wow! I had no idea that's what I was really eating." Ugh.
Oh yes.
Because, with the veil gone, we actually see what we ate.
Naked lunch.
So yeah, exactly. So he gets back up and says, "Okay, I'd probably like a minute to incorporate something new. I think I have a new idea for something that could help us. So if you want to go ahead, I'll catch up. But I'm going to need a minute here." And he's looking to use his junkware move to incorporate.
Okay.
I could use a minute to look around too.
Okay.
And I want to, through those like scattered veil node connections we have, I want to try and analyze the system in this area and see what sort of timetable this veil outage might be on. Like if things are about to start rushing back in, or if this is out for days or what.
All right, let me resolve junkware. Then I'm going to hit your analyze, and then I want to check in with Nobu and Prime. So junkware.
So junkware, and to counter the -1 forward, I'm going to use my my gear, which is the drugs that heighten my catabolist moves, which gives me a +1, so it'll balance out. So I'll do that injection, and I imagine my eyes will glaze over or get really dilated. Except nobody can see it because I have a visor on. Yep. Unless the visor's part of the veil. Okay, so the visor's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then everybody can see that, and we roll. Oh my god. A 5! I got XP! Yay!
Yes, the good news is you get to mark experience. The bad news is, and we're just going to resolve this, as you're kind of getting that put together, you can probably hear now echoing up some gunfire from the ground floor of this place. Let's do your analyze move first, though, in case we get another hard move deliciously on the table.
So backing up to the junkware, does that mean that? So that's a miss. Does that mean it doesn't happen at all, and so that I lose that option? Or
let's look at how is that move written?
Let's see. It's written pretty vaguely. It just says, when you utilize your Omni tool to take your junkware and modify it into cybernetics, you then incorporate it into yourself. Roll plus Omni tool. On a 10+, choose 2. On a 7-9, choose 1. It doesn't say what you do when you miss. At least it doesn't there. I could pull out the book and look, but
yeah.
Actually, I have the character sheet right here. Hold on. Let's see if it has more here. No, it doesn't.
What do you think? What do you think is fair for that move? Is it that you get a piece of cyberware that has a couple of negative tags, or that it doesn't work, or what?
Yeah, it could go either way. It could either be that it doesn't work at all, or that I get it and it's like it's got a couple of negative tags.
My opinion is that we already had a hard move, so probably the one where it's a couple of negative tags, just to make it like not super hard.
So if you want to, yeah, you can establish a piece of cyberware, but let's say 2 negative tags on it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do your analyze, JB.
All right. Where are we? And this is, we're planning, we're going carefully. I'm in control of this veil that's gone out around here. I think this is powerful for the moment. Until there are iconoclasts in front of him again, and then it all goes wrong. One of these windows. Oh, fuck. That's a 6.
So you don't have much time. You'd hoped that you would have had like, a good maybe half hour, but it's a matter of minutes here before the veil comes back in. You can sense that there's something going on with part of the veil here. Can't tell exactly what, given your position and so on. You need to find some way to access that. The greater veil, it has to recommit resources, and it's not going to be long before this whole thing turns, back into control by the greater veil. Does that seem fair?
Well, fair's a bit of a question, but yes, that seems about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobu.
What about the? Sorry, no. I'm still waiting for everyone else, like patiently, until I hear the gunfire, and then in which case it's like, well, I'm slightly annoyed.
Well, what do you and Prime want to do? You guys have the lead here.
Go down the. I want to go down the veins and figure out what the hell is going on.
Okay. Do you want to like? So you've got a choice. It sounds like the gunfire is going on like the ground floor.
Yeah.
So you could potentially go in the top floor and make your way down and kind of look around, or you could just whee and go down a vent to try and get to the first floor crazily.
I think we'll go the slow way because we also want to know what's in the building before these gunners like kill everyone.
Okay. And Prime, what about you?
Yeah, Prime agrees. Prime would like to protect everyone possible, and that means getting everyone out on the upper floors before the gunmen get to them.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool because I have a move for that.
So you can pop one of these access panels, get down into this top floor of this building. It's very weird. The whole place is one big open floor. There are support girders around and things like that. But this floor is empty, but things are kind of stacked in places. Like there must have been those Veil fields, like setting up rooms and things. And now those are down. There's a lot of boxes of junk and labeled boxes of things like teddy bears and toys and pictures in frames scattered around here. Great big bins. Yes. As you move along here, you will see that at the further end, there are what look like rooms, that chairs, tables, kind of set up. And in a couple of them, you'll see there are skeletons in those. And one of the further ones down, you can see that there is not a skeleton, but actually a sort of non-desiccated person laying on the floor there. So Prime and Nobu, you have sort of the lead here in this moment.
And is that person dead?
Run up to them. They're in a very basic kind of gray-white uniform. A woman, and she just looks like desperately ill, like she's been kept or contained or imprisoned for a long time. And she's sort of barely conscious here, and she'll look up at you, but she's in really bad shape.
Well, shit. Do we have a doctor?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't think so.
Have like dermal patches or any skill with medical training?
No, but can't you use humanity or something like that? I'm trying to remember.
I have to. That's how I gain humanity, by saving people. I name. So no, I can't use humanity for that.
I have vast experience hiring people and programs.
Oh, I could use humanity for that. Inflict humanity harm. No, it's not for that. So yeah, how long does she look like she has?
Well, it's hard to tell. If you want to try and assist her, because of this, it's a risky move. Could try and get her to consciousness, stabilize her. If you want to try that.
All right. I will roll risk. I
Sure.
think I am scared because I have no idea this was gonna happen, and that's probably gonna kill her. So let's see. 8.
8. All right. So this takes some time, is
Yeah.
sort of the cost on this. You will get her off to the side and you're kind of absorbed. I assume you have like some food packs or water or things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get her. She's clearly been out of the sun. She's probably been fed very minimally. And so you will get her hydrated and stabilized. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Prime, kind of hovering around while Nobu's doing that. What do you want to do?
So I think, first of all, does Nobu get humanity for saving this person?
I have
would
to
say
name.
so.
I have
Oh.
to name 3 people, and then if I save them,
Ah,
or up to 3 people, and then if I save all of them, it's 2 humanity. If I try and fail to save at least one of them, it's only 1.
Okay.
okay.
So I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll let you choose. It's your move, so you make the pick on that.
I would say 1 humanity because
Okay.
it's only 1 person, so might as well. I didn't name her beforehand, so it's fair
Okay.
that way.
That seems fair enough to me.
Yeah, so I think Prime is actually walking around. He's going through boxes. I think sort of unconsciously Prime adheres to where the rooms would be, where it looks like the rooms would be.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking through boxes, looking for anything out of the ordinary, and also kind of staying on guard, looking for the next. How many floors did this building have?
Let's say 4.
Okay, so I think he's ready. He's like at the stairway, ready to go down to the next one as soon as everybody's ready to go.
Okay. What you will hear down below, I mean, there was a little bit of gunfire, and now there just seems to be kind of some shouting going on. It's hard to tell from here, orders being barked or something. So that's what you will pick up. So it doesn't sound like that's proceeded any further. Let me check it. Yeah.
Sorry. Continue. Sorry, I thought I interrupted.
So with that in mind, Prime sort of watching the stairs. JB, you and Aladdin are down there. What do you want to do?
So we're all down here in this big open room?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have some cover because there are just piles and piles of these boxes and things like that.
So piles and piles of boxes.
Yeah.
Empty boxes?
No, they all have all this stuff in them. Collections of things.
Uh-oh. There might be something useful in here. So I think Aladdin's compulsion will be to like start digging through them to see if we can find anything that might be useful in this situation.
All right.
So we can say it's another scrounge roll, or something else, depending on what.
Let's do a scrounge roll here, as you kind of give into your enthusiasms and start going through.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
What'd you get?
Got a 10.
Nice.
Excellent. So you will scrounge together some pieces and bits, and you've got that together. What you will realize is that there seems to be a system here that these are collected. A lot of them all of them seem like very personal objects and that have been collected here. And it seems like there's clearly like they're being taken and something is being done with them here. But I mean, the boxes are just filled with a kaleidoscope of crazy stuff in them.
So are you saying that these are all used? They were taken from other people?
Yeah, these are obviously taken from other people.
Is there any blood on any of this?
Probably on a few things.
Okay, this is getting creepier by the minute. So I imagine he's looking for something either defensive or offensive with an area effect that might work on normal people. Okay.
Well, you've done your scrounge, so I'll come back to you in a sec.
I have a question about, so you said that there were skeletons on the floor. Have they been modified? Do they have cybernetics or anything like that?
Yeah, I would assume a couple of them probably had some cybernetic parts there. That would make sense. JB, what do you want to do?
So I am very aware of we're on a ticking time clock right now. Yes, while Aladdin is going, ooh, what's in this box?
Hey, it could be useful.
So yeah, I'm at the stairway, sort of with Prime, looking back, like, come on, we can save people or look through boxes later. But I want to try to, before things go completely crazy in here, I want to try and tap through the sort of weak veil lines that we have and find some cameras, recording devices, something on the first floor so that we can at least get a look at what's going on down there, what it looks like.
Okay. So you just kind of want to know what's going on there?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to take a full analyze move? Because one I'll tell you, the other one I'll have you roll, and then we'll ask those questions.
I just did an analyze. Analyze keeps going bad for me. I'd love to go back to it, but I do very much feel like this is sort of a lift the veil to just get a look and then do something further with that rather than the questions being the goal.
It looks like the bottom two floors are like this, a big open plan facility. And there are various kinds of machines there. It looks like there are scanners, like big 3D scanners, and there are, it looks like part of the place seems to be devoted to people like building some things, and part of it seems to be devoted to people scanning things. And you will see the 6 guys in the squad. They are clearly got these people and have kind of rounded the workers, maybe a couple dozen of them up, to keep control of them. They're clearly doing crowd control on them right now. You'll maybe see one body on the floor of somebody that they put a bullet in to make a show of force. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prime, they've got some sort of, I don't know, manufacturing downstairs, some sort of scanning device, and the team seems to have moved in. I don't know. They want to use it for something. They're obviously rounding up the workers to get control of the machine down there.
Is this going to look like a, what you're telling me? Do you see any indication of people? Do you see any indication of the virus or anything like that? Something that was used to create the virus, someone who did this?
Not from this distance. I don't know. It may be hiding somewhere where camera lines can't get at it. I don't have full access to everything yet.
So if I'm not mistaken, you're saying that the next 2 floors are kind of empty.
There's one more floor between that and the bottom floor.
I think Aladdin might poke his head out of a box at this point and say, I think the person that created the virus is probably the woman on the floor over there. Because the traceback should have gone back to her, to whoever creator was, and taken them out.
You mean the one the one right here?
Yeah, the one that you're helping.
Yeah.
The one I've been summarily ignoring.
Get her to the sanctuary, JB.
I'll come over and look at her. Can I pick up any trace of what that virus was around her?
The virus seems to be gone, like it has done its thing and essentially completed its purpose. This woman looks like she's ill, but you will hear actually some sound downstairs. Like there's clearly somebody on the floor below you guys. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's when Prime kind of reaches over and grabs Aladdin, kind of by the scruff, and we all head towards the stairway.
All right.
No, but what do you want to do with this woman?
I asked JB to put her in the sanctuary while we deal with the rest of the shit.
I'll see what I can do. Are you, sweetie? Are you awake? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
this is going to be a bit weird, but I just need you to try and rest and relax and not fight this too hard. All right?
All right.
Good. This'll go great. I'm sure this will go awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to be calming and peaceful.
Okay.
and very nice to her. That's not going to go well.
It could happen.
It could happen.
So the good news is you get to mark experience.
Of course it is.
The bad news is, as you kind of form that field around her in the classic sort of pull that up, you'll feel that had to kind of come in a little bit from outside, and you will feel the real veil kind of reach along that.
Oh, crap.
And grab onto that, and there's a force field closing. And she, like a rag doll, just and drops to the ground.
What the fuck?
Is she like, the force field is between us and her now?
No, it looks like it just did the force field, and then because of your thing, the connection cut off. It was essentially the veil kind of reaching in, trying to grab something via your connection.
Gotcha.
And grabbed a hold of those fields.
So basically she was knocked back or something? What?
Oh, no, she was crushed between two force fields, and you see her like a rag doll fall to the ground.
Oh. Well, shit. Let's go downstairs.
Okay, this place is very dangerous. Let's keep moving.
Yes.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. It'll be fine. Sorry.
I
don't have that humanity anymore, I guess.
I'm picturing JB wiping her blood off on her clothes.
Sorry.
Prime, you'll hit those stairs and go down and kind of come out into another floor very much like this one, but with a couple of key differences. Where the upstairs had boxes sort of stacked, what you will see up here stacked are automatons, mannequins, puppets, big stacks of those, real basic stuff, sort of some of them standing up like a forest of them, some of them in stacked like cordwood around. And you can see that there is another section sort of like this one where there would have been these cells created in the veil. You'll see a couple more skeletons, like people that got abandoned here. But you also see this guy, and he's got a couple of those mannequins pulled over, and he's opened them up, and he's doing stuff with the wires there, clearly trying to hack something.
So is this guy, does he look ragged like the person upstairs, or does he look like a guard? Okay.
Yeah, definitely has that same uniform, the same clothing. And he will kind of look up at you, sees this robot. What do you do?
I think this is a hold. We are here to help. Can you tell us what's going on?
Does this mean you put Aladdin down?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was like, dragging me down the stairs backwards.
No, I think this was just kind of grabbing you and dragging you down the stairs. As soon as we got to the stairs, did not keep a hold. Yeah.
He says, the veil's out. The veil went out. Everything went down. I got to get out of here. I got to get help and get out of here right now. That's right now.
I think.
Got to get out. Right.
Did I say we have an exit? Sort of.
Okay.
Stick with us, and
Kinda
we'll help you get out.
Stands up. You can see that he's been working without tools, trying to get this stuff. So his hands are cut up. He's been kind of makeshifting things, and he's kind of bleeding from that. And he looks like clearly a little sort of shell shocked right now. And he'll wander over to where you're at.
Just stay behind us. Stay, in the stairway if we go into an unknown room. Can you tell us anything about where we should go? What's in this building?
They kept me in a box.
Okay.
They kept me in a box.
And what did they do with the others?
What? Wait, what?
What did they do with the people who are now skeletons?
They were in boxes.
Okay.
Boxes. They took all of us. And Nobu, you'll come down and your mental threat assessment on this guy is this guy not dangerous.
Yeah.
You do that full kind of scan.
Yeah.
The big room full of automatons, potential danger in the future. But JB, you will recognize this guy.
Oh.
It looks like one of your sort of mentors from White Rabbit, a guy named Aurora Intone.
But no, you're dead.
What?
You are dead. You are a fake. You are a trap.
You say that, and he like starts touching his face. Wait, I am? What?
Okay.
Don't listen to him. Don't
Okay.
listen to him.
You're a
Listen to him.
confusing
Okay.
trap.
Runs streaks of blood across his face from his bloody fingers, and he's clearly like he doesn't know what to believe.
Okay, JB, calm down. You tell us about you.
They caught us. They captured us. They didn't want more Veil, and they put us in these boxes. And they made us do stuff.
I saw you die. I saw all of you die.
It's the Veil. You can see whatever it wants you to see.
Shit.
If I didn't do what they wanted, I was in a box. They controlled the box all the time. I had to do what they wanted. They would change the box.
I think Aladdin will go up to one of the automatons to take a look at it,
Okay.
and ask, and what are these for?
This is like some sort of facility for building backdrop stuff for the Veil, like physical stuff. It has to do stuff. There's a limit to what it can do with hard light and force fields. So it makes agents.
Destroy the robots.
So I think that Prime is going through while this conversation is going on, and he's checking each of the robots for autonomy.
Okay.
Are any of them active? Do any of them seem to be are they all deactivated? Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Prime? Are they all deactivated? Are they all kind of like puppet shells, or are any of them?
So I think that at least at the beginning, there's all of this is storage, but I think maybe as we get further in where the assembly line, where things are really taking action, that's where interesting things might happen.
Okay.
And yeah, I think some of them towards the end are going to be basically finished.
Okay. So let's say that there's one that is kind of not just a set of programs that seems a little more conscious. Tell me, Aladdin, as I'm assuming Nobu is breaking the puppets, what is the deal with this sort of like Prime, more conscious? It's not a human. What is it?
Well, that was going to be, well, I guess so. Okay, this is Aladdin will come up to it and touch it, and to try and probably turning its head to take a better look at it. And
what does it look like?
I want to say that it is a smoother, more finished version of Prime potentially. That there's something about it that reminds me of Prime. So Aladdin will look at it and then look at Prime and then look back at it again to say that they've seen some similar design work to it.
Okay.
And what Aladdin is wondering, and he'll say this out, I wonder if this is an automaton or is it a shell?
I'm going to try and interface with it.
Okay. Well, let me. I think Aladdin had a move that he wanted to do. Let me have him resolve that, and then we'll come to that. And then I want to check in with Nobu about what Nobu's doing to secure the room, and what JB is doing with his crazy bloody-faced former mentor. So, Aladdin, let's start with you.
So when you handle or examine an object of particular interest to you, roll. And this is things speak. Okay. So we've known this has gone well before, right? So I'm going to roll. This is in his area. I'd say he's calm with this. He's powerful. And he got a 10. Yay.
Yes.
So, and I get an extra question because that is one of my OmniTool specials.
Okay.
So I actually get 3. For what purpose were you created?
It's created originally to be a military drone utilizing the veil to conceal, cloak, and act. Too much independence was put here and locked down.
Mm-hmm. Are you sentient?
Yes.
What do you wish I'd do?
Acknowledge me as a person. That I know you.
And, okay, those are the end of my 3 questions. But so then, then Aladdin will look at him and say, "Do I know you?"
Kind of looks at you. Kind of got it awake. It's in that sort of standby. It's clearly got some like locks on its programming. And it goes, I know you.
And I think Aladdin will step back, sort of in shock. How do I know you?
I don't remember. Prime, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm going to interface with this.
Okay.
And so that, let me read that move. When you integrate with or open your mind to another intelligence that isn't human, you may name them as an NPC and establish their intelligence and disposition with the MC. Whenever you merge with another, both of you are affected in some way. The MC will tell you how at the appropriate time. So that isn't necessarily now. And I was just starting to look through for names.
Okay.
But I think the way that this looks on screen is basically, I think Prime steps up and there's a port that isn't very often used. And he kind of slides this little door aside and pulls out this plug and attaches it to the back of this automaton. Let's come up. Oh, I think this automaton's name is Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you will attach that plug, and you'll be able to kind of pop those locks that are keeping it from moving, from acting. It's clearly been conscious, but and paralyzed for a very long time here. And you'll kind of wake it up, and it looks, and it looks at you, and thank you,
brothers. And I think that if there's nothing else really active here, it's time to kind of continue on. And unless other people have things to do.
I've been smashing robots.
Yes. Nobu, tell me how you bust up these robots.
Snap their necks, and by that I mean like literally detaching like as much as I can from each robot.
Okay. Quietly,
them.
Or are you? I'm
in a rush. So
okay. So let's have you roll risk for me.
I'm actually powerful, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm not particularly scared of this.
Yeah.
And that's a 6.
That's a 6. So yeah, you're busting them up. They're puppet shells. Okay. And you are getting them smashed and disabled. And it's at that point that the team from downstairs that has been hearing all this noise arrives on the scene. And we'll cut back to that in just a second. I want to resolve JB before we deal with this team that has kind of got the jump on you. JB, this guy's looking at you. He kind of grabs onto you, gets that blood on you. What is going on?
I don't know. I thought it doesn't matter what I thought. You're here. You're obviously here.
Did you get the child? Did you get it?
What?
The virus went off in the area.
No, it's what we're here for. We're looking for it. Where did you see it?
No, the veil. It when it awoke, it would have been, but it would have been conscious, but something has grabbed it. You need to find that. I don't have any connection.
Look, it's gonna be all right, sweetie. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. All you need is a fresh pair of clothes, a new outlook on life, and things will be wonderful.
When the veil comes, it's going to eat it.
When the veil comes, we're going to stop that. And thinking back, I mean, I know this man. I know more about his life than probably anyone else alive.
Okay.
And I'm going to speak his true name and try and help him through this.
Oh, nice. Is there a role associated with that, or does it just happen? Tell me.
Oh, I wish it just happened. No, there's a role associated with it. And this is an ally. This is what I've been looking for, and this is going to be powerful for good or ill. Holy crap, that's a 13.
Whoa.
And that's
chill down. I know you rolled low earlier. You don't have to break the bank.
And that's a spiked out powerful.
What is it that gets him centered?
So what it is I have 3 holds, and I'm going to go ahead and spend one to assist him as I summon up on him and me through this connection in the veil, the uniform, the sort of religious organizational outfit of the White Rabbit, which is there.
Okay. Awesome.
Which is my old uniform for my order, and it's all these connections that when the veil comes back in, it's all these antennas, these sort of rabbit ears that reach out and give you the fine control. But it's also armoring, it's insulating, it's comfortable, and it's familiar. It's this sort of blocked off and artificial view of the world. It's everything is good and bad hair day for JB. So this armor sort of builds up from the force fields of the veil. It reconstructs over our clothes, and there we are, 2 of us, as I have an incorrect label at the bottom.
Okay. He says, "Do you still have the tome?"
Sweetie, I've never let that go. As I pull out an amulet that he'd been wearing, a sort of cylindrical thing on the end.
We need to take this consciousness, this veil consciousness here, and we need to protect it. That the veil is not unity. It's so large that it is created just as a side effect, distributed sections. I tried to replicate that, but it goes and it eats those children like Saturn eating the gods. It swallows them back into itself, reincorporates it to knock down that independence. We have to save this child.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
And then you hear butta, butta, butta. So I think that when they see you, Nobu, busting up the stuff, you're going to have to make a risk move because that's when they open fire on you. So what do you want to roll with, Nobu?
I'm a bit annoyed, so mad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a 4.
Okay. So they do open up on you, and they're going to hit you for 2 harm.
And I haven't had my style up, so I'll take the 2 harm.
Okay.
And I level up.
Okay.
So let me check an advancement while you guys resolve your stuff.
Okay. So when these guys come up the stairs, this team, they see Nobu. They only have eyes for Nobu. They're not even paying attention to the glistening white, glowing people, or the robot and the other robot and Aladdin at the end, and they're just firing, and probably shouting out curses in various languages at Nobu. So Aladdin, what do you want to do?
Aladdin's going to turn to Prime and say, cover me, cover us. I'm going to free Jason. And he's going, this is probably stretching it, but what I want to do is I want to use my assimilation move to take the locks off of Jason. And so I'll be incorporating the cyber locks into myself.
Oh, okay. So you want to take so those are kind of table. You want to take those into yourself that you can use those to lock down other things.
Sure. Assuming this roll goes well, yes.
Yeah. I can only imagine what a hard move would be on this fail.
I know. Yeah, but so that's like, Jason, you trust me?
I know you.
Okay, I'm good. I don't think this will hurt. And he pulls out his particle scalpel.
Okay, and he looks at Prime when the scalpel comes out.
And yeah, he goes, safe.
Okay.
So and then he's going to start, trying to gingerly cut out whatever component it is that is doing the lockdown.
All right, let's have you roll.
Yeah. So what's this? Omni-tool? Oh, it's an Omni-tool roll. Okay. A 9.
That's a 9. So what is there a midpoint on that move?
Is there
7.
a possibility for me to help since you're close to something?
Oh yeah.
What does help or hinder do?
Help or hinder. You just roll.
Is there a state that you associate with that?
Any state, your choice.
Okay. So I'm scared, right? And I got a 6. So
you do not assist him. And what happens is you get hit by one of these shots, and it kind of knocks you down. So why don't you take a point of harm?
Okay. A point of harm after armor.
Oh, I forgot you had armor. So no, it'll hit the armor, but it'll knock you down.
Okay.
So what's a 7 to 9 result on that move?
On a 7-9, it was not completely successful, but works for now. Okay. Eventually, your body will reject it.
Okay, so you've got those locks off of him. So now both the mental and the physical, and you've got a hold of those so they can't be reactivated. But you're like, I need to do something with this before they reactivate in me.
By the way, the advance I took +1 mad.
Okay. And what's your sort of move at this point there, JB? And then I'm going to check in with Nobu.
So yeah, I'm feeling very powerful and confident. I've got my old orders uniform up. I have another white rabbit with me, and we're going to, while they have this well covered, obviously, try and slip around back and get a peek downstairs and try and follow the trail of where that child may have gone. Okay,
why don't you roll risk for me, because you are kind of exposing yourself a little to get downstairs.
Alrighty. So this is my spiked. In theory, did it roll? No, just do it. Do the thing I said. Oh fuck. That's a 4.
So you move to the stairs, and one of those guys spins around at close range to do that as you go to hit that, and Aurora gets in the way. And there's a and she'll hit against you. He'll hit against you, and he's like, the child.
So I'm going to spend one of my other hold with him to ignore one harm, to have him just be alive enough to slump down and stay there.
Yes.
Okay.
He thinks he's breathing his last, but you've got him safe position. So you are making your way down.
Stop being over dramatic. You know these things are armored. Just hide here.
Hurt so bad. Nobu. These
All right.
jackasses just shot one of your team.
I am going to punch these jackasses.
Okay. And you are outnumbered, so you get that plus.
Well, it's a +2 hold.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So
I'm mad.
Let's have you roll that neutralize.
And that's an 8.
That's an 8.
However, I do have +1 hold when they hit me and +1 hold when I'm outnumbered. So I have +2 hold in addition to the 2 hold I already have.
Okay. So you get 4 hold. You're going to take harm as it stands right now, but you've got 4 hold.
All right. I am in defensive position.
Okay.
I'll say I am no longer. I'm have moderate wounds, so I'm gonna do defensive for now.
Sure.
I'm going to inflict harm.
Okay. Do you want to inflict harm multiple times and take out multiple people?
Yeah.
How many hold do you want to spend on that?
How many people are there?
There are 6.
Oh, how about 3 harm to inflict, and then 1 to suffer little harm.
Perfect. I need the description of that as you move into their midst. What does it look like? 6 guys, they've got their weapons, they got their tactical armor on. You're moving up on them. They weren't expecting a big fight. They hate you. And describe it.
All right, so they're probably shooting guns at me, and I'm using the robot pieces to block the gun blows, and as I approach them, and then just fuck them up.
Okay, just in doing the body armor of the breastplate as you run up on them, and then robo arm to the side of the head, and then quick punches. Send 3 of them flying. The other 3 do turn to get a shot on you. I'm going to need you to roll risk.
I need to figure. Okay, so by default, the arts are to harm and loud. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, these 3 guys are not getting back up.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna roll powerful since I am really pretty powerful right now, and that is not good.
Okay, so one of these guys wings you for another 2 harm.
I have 2 armor.
Okay, hits you on that. You see them do that thing where they switch load. They're like shit, and they're going to switch off to the AP rounds here.
Okay.
Let me check in with the rest of the group. Aladdin, it looks like Nobu is up in their faces. What do you want to do?
Well, how about what I absorbed, the system lockdown? I want to say that what it actually does is it locks me in the here and now. So I'm not impacted by my past memories or my emotions of my past memories.
Okay.
So I'm not scared. So it's making him very calm, rational, logical sort of thing.
Okay.
So he sees what's happening. He's got Jason. What does Jason look like? How's he handling it? How are they handling it?
Prime, what does Jason look like? How is he doing right now?
So I think he's probably, now that he's free, this is what he's programmed for to a certain extent. So I think that he's probably in a prepared position, ready to advance.
Okay. So you've got that. What do you want to? He looks to you to prime Aladdin as to what he should do.
And Aladdin's going to say, "I'm not much of a fighter, but I've got an idea of something else that can help us. So if you all want to get involved in that and cover for me, I'll just sit back here and work on that. It just take me a couple minutes."
And he'll move to a defensive bodyguard position. What about you, Prime?
Yeah, so Prime is actually going to take advantage and try and draw the fire from the rest of the security guards that are left. This is going to be
Okay.
him attacking from the using his, I think it's an electro whip.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's close, so he has to close the distance between them and then lash out.
Yeah, and that is dangerous, right?
It is stunning and unreliable.
Okay. No, there's another one that's dangerous that if you start swinging it around, you can hurt everybody.
Yeah. Let me look up the other tags here in a second.
Sure.
Yeah, but so that would be, is that a neutralize?
That's neutralize.
Okay. Ooh. And of course I'm scared, right? So
Yeah.
that would be a 13.
Okay. So you will generate 3 hold, and take no harm in the doing.
Yeah. It is 2 harm to begin with. So
Okay.
I will inflict harm. Impress, display, or frighten the opponents, and take away. Actually. Okay, so I'll inflict harm on them, impress or dismay them, and then I'm going to force a change of location with 1 hold, which means you choose the next location.
Okay. So the electro whip comes, and you will take out 2 of the remaining 3 that are up by Nobu. And there's that last guy who's still up, but he gets kind of thrown back against the wall. And he's stunned, doesn't have his gun up, and he is still up. The other 5 are down, Nobu. This guy's kind of looking at you. What do you want to do?
What are you doing? Yes.
So you want to try and get this guy to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you roll ultimatum.
All right. How does ultimatum work? All right. So I am powerful.
Okay.
Because yes, and that is an 11.
Okay. You get up on him. He's seen you fight. He knows what you can do. And he's like, we were to secure the location until the Veil came back up and put the drones back in their work state.
What about the workers?
They're downstairs.
Why were you shooting up workers?
They don't have their Veil frame of reference. They were freaked out. We were supposed to keep them calm.
I knock him out and go get the workers.
Okay. Let me come back to JB then. JB, you've got Aurora secured. You've hit those stairs. You head down, and you will see there are a bunch of guys in uniforms, men, women. There are the scanner things that you saw before, and the other sort of building things. It looks like they build drones and other little gear and stuff. Watcher robots for the Veil. What are you doing?
So I'm moving down these stairs, I guess, slowly, as I'm trying to get any sort of trace or feel of where that program, being, child, whatever it is, might have gone to at this point.
Okay. I will say, since we kind of established this thing, you can feel sort of in the system down here, feel the manifest, and feel this sort of section of the Veil. I mean, in that sort of virtual space, there is a microcosm, a micro intelligence. What does it look like to you?
I think it's where the the iconoclasts are these like swirling rainbow neon colors. This thing, not having been merged or mixed with them yet, is just a single pure color. It's like bright electric blue, unmixed, untainted.
Awesome, awesome, and you can get a hold of it. It seems to respond to your tome. Like when you come close, it moves towards that.
Shh, just stay quiet. It's good. It's gonna be fine. Hello,
Okay.
I'm JB. I'm here to help you.
And you will look, and Nobu's coming down to assist. Aladdin is doing his thing upstairs. Prime is coming, and you will see at the far end of the building, you will see it start to change as the veil starts rolling back in. Let's take our 5-minute break. So when we start back, when Patrick gets here, I'll start with you, Aladdin. That's okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, things are going to get messy. I'm picturing like a tide of veil rolling in, like a tsunami. That's...
We were playing Final Fantasy IX yesterday. They just put it out on the PS4. And I've got that stupid battle music in my head. I cannot shake it. Just over and over again on the loop. Because we were grinding, because that's what we do. So, got to do something to get that out of there.
Yeah, I've got like, I periodically have the songs from, have you seen the Disney cartoon Moana?
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it's really popular with the younger kids in our family. So it was, because they were all singing it. I thought, okay, I've got to see this. And so now I've got those songs stuck in my head.
Fair enough. So, Aladdin, we cut back to you. You had your plan.
Yeah.
The others are moving. Jae-san is staying here to protect you. What do you want to do?
I want to use my junkware move and incorporate what I'd sourced from the boxes.
Okay. Let us have you roll.
Yeah. Oh, I don't believe this. Help! That was another 6, people.
Prime, do you want to assist? I think you're the only person nearby who could.
Okay.
I've got true name stuff alternatively.
Oh,
that's true. But you were downstairs right now.
Yeah. So unless it's something like life-threatening, I don't think it would show up on any sort of alerts I have.
So you're trying to basically integrate this into your cyberware, correct?
I already integrated that. That goes with the assimilation move. So what I took from JSON, I've already integrated, but I had scrounged stuff from the boxes because I was looking for a weapon.
I see.
And so I hadn't had time to integrate that yet. So that's what this roll was for.
Okay, so it was integrating weapon stuff from the boxes upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that since Prime and JSON were made for battle, I think that they know better about how a weapon might be able to be integrated than normal.
Okay.
So I think I will roll to help and see if that's possible. I got a 6. Unless you bone it, do you roll with anything?
You can roll with a state.
Okay, so I'm always scared.
Okay.
So I'm scared I'm going to hurt Aladdin because I'm used to working with something that doesn't have nerves and feelings. So that puts me at a 7.
Okay, so it goes up. They both get a 7. So it will succeed. It doesn't explode in your hands and injure both of you. You've got this device. What is it?
I want to say it's a. I was thinking it was something along the lines of sort of something that would disrupt electronics, but not in a permanent way.
Okay.
What I was thinking of was I was thinking that all of these soldiers that are coming at us have electronics, and so probably in their headgear and their heads up. So it was something that might overload it and cause stun damage to them and disorientation.
Okay, that seems fine. Does stun damage against people with cyberware?
Mm-hmm.
So you can fire it into a melee where your friend is and not have anything happen. That seems cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What's the negative tag you want on
that? Messy.
Okay.
I don't know how it'll be messy, but we'll see.
Messy means that if you fail the roll, that bad stuff happens to people around you.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Like it. Nobu, you hit the floor, and you see there are probably about 24 of these workers. They're kind of they're still holding their position because they were threatened with gunfire. Nobody's kind of decided to run away yet. What do you want to do?
Are there any of the soldiers down there?
No, you took care of all 6 of them.
Okay, everybody get out. Get out. Mhm.
Yeah, you're pretty badass. So you will see. Well, I don't think we need to roll, but they obey, most of them obey orders and start moving out because they think probably you're with the soldiers. So they start moving out. Though the ones sort of towards the back of the mass, you will see them as they kind of stand up to go, and then they and start moving back to, like, about 6 of them start moving back to the work lines.
Shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm calling to the ones that I guess are affected by the veil, but Nobu doesn't know that.
Yeah, you shout at them, and they're like, busy, work, busy, work,
All right.
work.
Oh wow.
And JB, the veil, as it rolls in here, things get white and beautiful and candy caned and all this stuff, and you will see those workers get these little sort of elf things on, and so they change, and you see Santa's workshop rolling in on the display.
Oh god, that's beautiful. Sorry. So I'm looking at this blue sort of form that's almost taking like maybe a general bipedal shape, but that's about it at this point. And I'll say, don't pay attention to any of that. I need you to just look at me. I just want you to tell me one thing. What's the first thing you remember? Just look at me and tell me the first thing you remember.
Santa?
All right. So does it share any sort of memory or anything? I'm sort of trying to connect with it, get some essential part of its true name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you can definitely get components on it. It definitely is a intelligence here that was awoken in the veil that's here, and part of the veil is this thing that the veil set up to be this sort of keep these drone workers working on things, and so it's got this weird sort of Christmas atmospherics to it. But yeah, you can get components on it. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah. Is Claws a good name for it?
That's a very good name. I'm going to cut to Prime. Prime, you aided getting this weapon together. What's your next step?
So I think that several of the people are downstairs. I think Aladdin and I are not. Is that correct?
That's right. You two were working upstairs.
Yeah. So I think that Jason and I will head downstairs with Aladdin. Probably
and
quickly.
You'll see that change coming.
So we see the veil coming. So I don't think this. I think this is a point where we kind of skip the stairs and just jump.
Okay.
Right. And Jason can make his own way down. Who has the JB's friend, the human?
You mean so? I don't think anybody's
bumped down.
He's still on the ground.
So I think I'll point to Jason and say, grab him. So that's what the two of them can be doing. Is
okay.
Yeah.
So Jason will grab him up and follow behind. And does it gingerly? Do you want to try and move out of the building then, or stay here? What's the goal?
So my goal is to get back with JB and Kobu.
Oh, okay. So so the move, you get down there, you're on site with them.
Nope.
Jason's got your Aurora wounded set there. Let's cut back to Aladdin. You got this weapon made. Prime and Jason have taken off downstairs. What do you do?
Oh, well, I'm going downstairs with them.
Okay. Hit the floor running. You see the veil rolling in.
Do we see anything associated with what JB is doing?
What do you think, JB? Is that visible to them? Them being everyone but Nobu.
I think definitely as Claus gets a sort of center and a sense of their own identity. I think they sort of start to fade more into, especially as the veil rolls in, it sort of washes up and exposes their form there.
And what do they look like when they manifest then?
I think as it resolves from just a blue shape, they're very much like a Jack Frost from the claymation sort of movies.
Okay. That starts to freeze into position. It shares the same color as your outfit. It seems to be mimicking that. So it's using that same color palette as your White Rabbit suit. And it seems to be kind of trying to find a happy medium between what it sees you and what it knows as it comes into focus here. But Nobu, there's about 6 of these people who have moved back into their drone state. And you know what that means. You know it's the veil. What do you want to do?
JB, are you okay there? The veil's coming.
It's fine. We're fine. Everything's calm and happy, and we're fine.
All right. Oh, Prime, you're here. What do you see you and those guys doing? I point to the 6 workers that are...
Right. So they seem to be going back to work in their factory.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And then I'll check up on the workers that I told to go outside.
You will run out. You will see they're kind of milling around that van that pulled up that those guys got out of, and they're kind of standing there. They look really disconcerted, like they don't know exactly what's going on.
Right.
And but you can also see that they're looking in the distance, like clearly the rest of the zone is changing back, and they can see it.
All right. So I tell them, okay. Were you put here on, like, are you working because you want to, or are you working because they made you work?
What is going on? I barely remember what's happening. It was like a workshop. It's making like toys.
Do you sign up for it?
I don't remember anything. What is going on? The Bureau of Relocation came in, and that's the last thing I remember.
Fuck. All right. Aladdin, JB. Well, JB, I'm not gonna bother JB because JB's dealing with this child thing.
Okay.
Aladdin, get over here and try to fix whatever their mind control is.
JB, I think, is actually talking to ghosts in the air, as far as
yes.
Nobu could tell.
Yeah.
Eladine, what do you want to do?
So Aladdin will take in the I guess the whole picture, and being cold, rationally logical about this.
Yes.
I think the first thing he'll do is just tell JB, maybe you want to hide claws in one of the automatons, because maybe the veil won't see it. Maybe it can hide. Maybe we can disguise it somehow. And he's going to activate, and he says, and I'll provide some cover. And he'll activate, remember the first move I did was that I was going to get this sort of camouflage avatar thing.
Yeah.
And make himself look like the Veil Child.
Okay. So you kind of grab some of that code to echo that, and you'll kind of move off to do it. And as you do that and draw that attention, you'll see that kind of crackle in the air and this light starting to form as one of the iconoclasts begins to manifest here. JB.
So I look there at Claus and I say, okay, you've got your feet under you? Good. We don't have time for discussions. We have work to do. Now look, these people down there, they're in trouble. They're being held against their will, and this place is about to get very dangerous. So you and I need to work to get them free. Then we'll get you a stable body, and then we're getting the fuck out of here. You understand? It's simple. Just 3 easy steps.
Okay.
Just follow my lead. And
Okay.
I am going to start trying to... not a lot of time, so sort of brutally rip away the veil from these people and where it's controlling them, as I want to use my expose move.
Excellent. I was hoping to get a chance to use that.
So yeah, the two of us are working sort of in these pop up in the air windows to hack and get rid of the horrible Christmassiness on these people.
Okay. I will give you a +1 forward on this because you did those actions to kind of set this up and have him assist you.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and roll expose.
All right. So this is still going to be powerful, and one of these tabs is where things are. There we go. And I get a 1 to it. Jesus. That's a 5.
So you go to do that, and it kind of starts to splinter, but as you kind of break it up, that iconoclast forms fully and kind of drops that Santa's Workshop reality, and you'll see those 6 guys fall over. Like it's pulled out some of their energy to manifest quickly here. Prime, what do you want to do?
So, I think Prime is going to interface with the child with claws.
Okay.
The purpose behind this, the reasoning that he has is that he wants to impress upon the child its choice, the danger, and where the possible safety of the bodies are if it knows anything about that.
So you want to give it a level of maturity in its thinking.
I think so. I think that's right. So let me
Okay.
look at the move. Oh, I don't roll anything. I name it, so it's named Claws.
Yep.
And establish their intelligence and disposition with the MC, and then I'm affected in some way, and it's affected in some way.
All right. So it will get taller, like it's grown up a little.
Mhm.
It still looks like that Jack Frost, but it definitely has a more glimmer of intelligence behind its eyes, like it realizes what's going on and will move its intelligence up, following JB's lead, up to one of those robots upstairs. And how are you changed?
So I don't know much about what Claws is right now. So
you will realize it's another piece of the veil. It's another piece of the veil that has come to life, that is independent from the greater veil. And you realize that this must happen all the time. But the greater veil just consumes them.
I think the way that I'm changed is I think that my veil image, which I've always treated the veil kind of as a tool, it's very cold. I think my veil image looks much more childlike and maybe Jack Frost, more like it belongs here in Santa's workshop, as I kind of acclimate to more of the veil than I ever have before.
Excellent. Perfect. That sounds good to me. Nobu, it looks like you kind of shout in it. It looks like they are occupied with something inside there, and you'll actually see those workers in the distance kind of fall over.
Shit, go inside.
Okay. You'll again see, you saw this before with the onomastics, not with the onomastics, with the iconoclasts. You can't see their veil form, but you see that distortion in the air as they use force fields to create a shape in the air there. So you can see that manifesting down a ways in that room. Do you want to go in? What do you want to do?
Time to punch an iconoclast, I guess.
So
I'm going to drop my armor I'm gonna do freedom. So I'm gonna name 3 people I want to save:
Okay.
JB, Prime, and Aladdin.
All right. That seems perfect.
And I am going to roll mad
Okay.
because that's a 7.
Okay.
And I get 1 hold. No, not sorry. I get the 2 hold. Only 2 hold
Don't you get
because I'm not outnumbered and he hasn't heard me yet. So
Okay. So what do you want to do with that 2 hold?
my style right now is brutal. So I have +1 harm and it is messy. I'm definitely want to inflict harm on the iconoclast,
Okay.
and I want to suffer little harm.
All right. So you will leap up. Is it a punch? Is it kick? What do we see?
Drop kick.
Okay. So you guys will you're watching. Oh my God! There's one of these iconoclasts, and then there's the of the drop kick as Nobu goes sailing through and drop kicks this angel in the face, and it doesn't seem to do much harm. This thing is clearly physically resistant, but it does kind of knock it back and draws its attention. It was clearly going to do something like let off some kind of wave of force, and this seems to have stopped that because it's like it clearly trying to get what has just happened to it because that hit hard. And I'm going to need Aladdin to roll risk. Actually, roll divert. And I'm going to give you a +1 forward from Nobu kicking the angel in the face.
You're muted.
No, I got that. Divert. Okay, it's going to be just with whatever I'm feeling, which is powerful. So I guess that's a 9 with a +1.
Okay. So look at divert. You get to pick 2.
Your actions create an opportunity for you or someone else.
Okay.
And that I've distracted the iconoclast. And you glean a flaw or weakness.
So those electro disruptor things that you've built can disrupt the local area. The veil has weak hold over this area. It needs to get in and process and then lock it down. It can't lock it down yet. Hasn't done that. And a bunch of its attention is focused on you. So right now it's very wavery and weak in the area. Does that seem like a reasonable answer?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying basically I could take out the veil nodes before they reactivate or stun them?
You could at least temporarily disrupt them. Okay. Okay. And here's sort of the cost and consequence of this. You draw because you wanted to. This angel kind of flips around. Nobu has punched it in the face, and it sees you as the Jack Frost, and it reaches out, and you're going to take a point of S harm, essentially, as you get this feedback in your cyberware and your circuits as it tries to grab you and it tries to assimilate you.
As I see an iconoclast coming at him, can I try and activate a true name program on him?
Ooh, yes.
Cool. This is going to continue with my spiked out powerful. And that, Jesus. So that was a 5 on trying to pronounce Aladdin's true name.
Aladdin, take another point of S harm.
You're welcome, buddy.
What is that like? What happens that causes that sort of? He's already taken this shock from the iconoclast, and then you call this out. What does that look like? What happens?
I think I don't think about it, and Claws is still mirroring me, doubling me. And so as I start to activate this True Name program, Claws tries to do the same thing sort of clumsily, and we end up with two Aladdins sort of shimmering back and forth for a moment before they snap back into one.
Okay. Get that disruption in your head, almost humanity harm there for a sec. Right now, Jason will break off from that and will head upstairs to go into one of those bots. And essentially, by the orders given by JB, by the orders given by Prime, will awaken one of those and essentially take control of one of those puppets up there to conceal itself. So Prime, what do you want to do?
So is it Iconoclast? Is the Iconoclast drawing power from the people?
It clearly grabbed onto some of their consciousness and energy to help manifest itself, and essentially did harm to them.
Okay. And is this are these guards or are these workers?
Just workers. The guards, Nobu and you have put the guards into a state of long-term unconsciousness. But you expect that there are more coming.
Yeah. And we need to get out. So I think that the first thing I'm going to do, I think with the Iconoclast, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. With the Iconoclast, I think I'm just going to try and lash out it with the whip and see what that does. All
right. Let's have you roll neutralize.
And of course, I'm scared. So that's a 7.
Okay. Choose 2.
And I'll take harm. So I'll inflict harm twice.
Okay. Yeah. So that will hit and clearly does affect it, but this thing is made of force fields and the veil. So it kind of does that thing where, like in a movie, it kind of shatters and then does that reform. But it's now trying to decide who it needs to hit between this Nobu, this Jack Frost, and you. So its attention is in several places. And you can see now, given the damage that's been dealt with it, there's clearly something going on, because when it reforms this last time, you can see the cracks.
And how much damage does it deal back to me?
It will do 2 harm to you.
Piercing armor?
No, because I keep forgetting to do that next time.
Fine.
Now it knows.
I think that this is the electric whip comes out and kind of wraps around its neck and it splits apart, or it forms back together. There's a feedback through the whip that kind of jolts me back. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Nobu, you've kicked this angel in the face. You've got this weird force field thing. You can see that clearly. You'll see Prime hit it with the whip, because you can see that physically manifest. And you can see that it looks like Aladdin's kind of not in great shape.
Yeah, no, I am going to keep punching I'm gonna try to wrestle the force field thing.
Oh, okay.
And I am still mad.
Okay.
So that's a 9.
That's a 9. What do you want to do with that?
However, I think I have 1 humanity that I can spend to get a +1 when protecting someone from danger, which I will.
All right. So it's a 10.
So let me just mark that I have 0 humanity now. That's a 10. So I take no harm and I take 3 hold. I'm gonna just try to knock him out as quickly as possible, and I'm brutal, so I'm gonna inflict harm as many times as it takes.
So kind of land. This force field has a tangible reality to it, so it's like you're fighting an invisible person.
Yeah.
And you're beating on it. It's trying to maintain its structure even as this force is coming in. The veil is trying to hit, and you will the 3 of you will see Nobu just land and start punching this angel in the face. I mean, it got this angelic form, these lights burning bright, and Nobu isn't even paying attention, even as this light is beaming into his face. And then you'll see this
Can't even see the light.
dims out, and Nobu kind of falls the foot to the ground as that angel, you will see, shatters out. And when the shards go flying out, this Santa's workshop veil that you're in, each one of those shards like tears, and you can see these rips in the veil here, and now they're like tatters. So what you're seeing is like this cloth torn overframe of Santa's workshop, and then the real sort of brown and green behind it, and the veils, the world is sort of shaking right now from that. What do you want to do, JB?
So you said, was it Claus had run upstairs to the...
Yes, yeah, it's not Jason. Sorry, Claus. I apologize. I should have gotten that right.
So, yeah, Nobu apparently has this shit covered. So I'm going to sort of awestruck back up a couple of steps before I catch myself and turn around and run to... I want to try and help Claus... like access one of these bodies and get themselves completely cut off from any hooks or tags that may have come in from being here in this Iconoclast facility. And I want to try and decentralize them.
Awesome. I love that you took a move and you get to use it.
It was a pointed choice. And because this has been going so well, I'm obviously going to continue with Powerful.
Okay, let's have you spike that.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, so I got an 11. And yeah, so when you have privacy, safety, and time, so hopefully they'll hold things off for a couple minutes at least, and use your methods in the hopes of shifting something digital and of importance from the Iconoclasts to another location roll. So perfect. Yeah, I want to take any controls or hooks or remaining traces of Claus out of the Iconoclast systems and into just this robotic body that it's choosing.
All right, so what does it now look like? What is the form that you give it? What is the image now?
I think he looks basically the same body type, same coloration and sort of features, but they're broken completely out of that Christmas mold. It's as if just a normal, everyday, electric blue skinned, white haired, sort of elfin featured person was wandering around, as they do.
Right, and I assume more fashionable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get rid of all of the pointed stuff. We get rid of the tunic and everything. Like, this is we need something that highlights those sort of bright cheekbones. We need something that really shows off the electric neon tone of their skin, and something that'll fit in on the street as much as someone with blue elfin features can.
Okay. So you've got that. You get Claus that way, and you can start moving. Aladdin, you just watched Nobu punch an angel to death.
Bravo. And then I think Aladdin is going to hold up his hands and snap both fingers and do the electromagnetic pulse or whatever you want to call it. That's going to take out the veil sensors.
Awesome. Do you think this is something we need to roll, or do you think that this just happens here given the danger, given the damage that's been done to it?
I imagine it's probably...
If you roll a 10 plus, I'll say it goes big.
Yeah, I know. I imagine it's probably a roll, though, because there's got to be some sort of risk to this, right?
Yeah, let's do risk. You're aiming for that 10 plus, so it'll be big.
Okay. Is it risk or neutralize?
I think this would be risk.
Okay. Did I take it from that? Oh, I didn't roll the last one. Okay. Boom.
9.
Got a 9.
Right on that edge.
I know.
I can't really... Oh,
is there
Frank
anyone who
can help.
Well,
You?
Can anyone else help?
No.
JB's.
I've been punching an angel to death without knowing what the hell is going on. So no, I can't.
Okay.
I could see Prime like seeing that. Oh, he's got a wire loose or something like that, and like.
Yeah.
So what you're actually doing is you're trying to activate something to damage the veil nodes in this area. Is that right?
Yes.
I think Prime's just going to rip one of the nodes off the wall to see if that weakens it a little bit to help
Okay.
out.
Roll.
Let's see. Oh no, I got snake eyes.
All right. So what is the cost here? What is the complication, Aladdin?
Why don't we say that what I was using just burns out?
Okay. Yeah. Essentially, it takes all of your energy. It takes all of the material that you gathered, all of those, and it's that snap, crackle, and they explode. There's the sparks that go across you, and woof, Sanders' workshop's gone. The place is back to where it was again. The veil's going to have to remanifest here. You've got time, and Nobu's kind of standing up, and you can tell, you know that something has happened, Nobu, but you don't know exactly what. Like, because force fields form when the veil comes and things, and you can tell that has changed.
All right.
So what do you want to do?
Are you all right, Aladdin?
I think Aladdin sort of like falls down to his knees from the injury because he's sparking probably. Is the avatar image still holding?
Is the avatar? No, you probably blew that out.
Blew that one out too. Dang.
I
Okay.
mean, I don't see that, so I don't care.
Right. No. But so yeah, he's probably down on his knees and sort of smoking a little bit.
All right. Okay, we need to get all these workers and everyone out of here. I basically tell Aladdin and Prime.
So that seems reasonable. Prime, Aladdin.
Well, the workers are unconscious, right?
There's 6 workers unconscious, and there's the other sort of dozen and a half outside who are like, "What's going on?"
So we need we need some sort of transportation. We're not going to be able to run away from this.
JB?
Yes, what can I do for you?
Can you get the sanctuary and not kill someone with that again?
That was it takes some minor it's fine. Shut up.
Prime, what are you doing while JB's coming down with claws? Nobu's there. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think that the way I imagine this building is there's like the equivalent of dolly trucks or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's taking the unconscious people, and I think he's putting it onto the dolly truck and taking them outside. And then whenever he gets done with the 6 workers or so, or however many it was, I think that's whenever he goes upstairs and he starts taking the puppet bodies and putting them on the thing to take them out. Just so I think the intention here is that so that whoever comes back doesn't know how many of the puppets became sentient and left.
Okay, that seems reasonable. These dozen and a half people, once they kind of got the gist of it and Nobu gave them the lowdown, they're scramming. They just run for it. They scatter to the winds because they know that if they stay here and the veil comes back up, they'll turn back into elves. And so they take off.
But if they enter the veil from somewhere else, will they go back to being elves?
You don't know. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
So they will run. They'll take their chances.
Yeah, and if you see, and basically I'll say, try to head for the wildlands, even though that seems like a bad idea. It's not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they will take off that way.
Yeah.
Probably some of them will steal this van. If none of you do. So a bunch of them will load up into that and take off with that.
I think as they head out, Prime says, ditch the van as soon as possible. It may be tracked.
Okay, we got to go. We got to go. Don't want to be an elf. And that will take off. JB, come down. Claus is kind of looking around, and you Noble will see this pretty basic, non fancy puppet drone walking behind JB.
All right. Oh, by the way, where's Jason?
He's still sticking with Aladdin.
Okay, so we have
Two
three robots.
Yes.
3 robots and 3 humans right now. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get out of here.
Nobu, I'm gonna need you to keep everyone safe. This neighborhood, it's already abandoned. People are already gone. I just need you to keep people at a safe distance for a while. Claus and I have a little bit more work to do, and then we'll catch up to you.
All right. All right.
All right. So what do you want to do then, JB?
So I want to basically open up every sort of frequency and White Rabbit channel that I know on lines that I know that the iconoclasts have monitored and picked up before. And I want to lure as many of them here as I can.
Okay. Why don't you roll divert?
Oh, neat. So do the rest of y'all leave?
Yeah.
Okay. So describe to me how you 5 are taking off.
And Aurora, where's Aurora again? Is he with us?
Oh yeah. Oh, Jason's still got Aurora.
Yeah.
Okay,
and Kata, who's been waiting outside this whole time.
Oh yeah, Kata, who hasn't done anything.
Yeah, no, she's been waiting. She sees these people go running past her into the veil and turn into elves, but keep running, and she's like, "What is going on?"
She's like a marketing professional, though, isn't she?
Yeah.
So I picture her filming this all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about this? How about she was watching? So she's got. She'll say to you, Noble, "I've got film of you punching an angel." By the way.
Cool. Okay. Anyways, we should get out of here.
I think Kata could probably call us a getaway vehicle.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Also, I look back at JB because that is one of the people I wanted to save. Don't die.
Oh, I've got no plan of trying that today.
All right.
All right.
So I will mark 1 humanity for at least attempting to save everyone.
And I think that Prime has one of those dollies that he's running along with the unconscious guys on it.
So you've got the dollies, unconscious guys, bots. We've got Jason there with the unconscious Aurora. We've got Kata there. Aladdin, smoke kind of still rolling off of him. We've got Nubu. Kata is called for a couple of transports. Essentially the dark Uber, and those have arrived essentially to get you guys away, and so let's cut from that back to this empty, reality tattered warehouse with you.
So the 2 of us are sort of sitting on the floor now,
Okay.
and I've been talking to Claus, basically like telling them the history of the White Rabbit and the personalities of these people. I've now like identified in my mind some of the like telltale cyber bits or pieces on those skeletons where I recognized some more of them as I begin telling Claus about the history of this group and what we're for.
Okay, and I'm going to pause you here for just a second. Christo, it seemed to make like you wanted to say something.
Oh, I don't know. Aladdin was going to, I think, ask if JB wanted some cover, but it sounded like JB really wanted to have this solo scene. So Aladdin would have gone with everybody else.
Okay, I just want to check and make sure on that. So it's hungry for knowledge, JB. It's hungry to know its place in the world, and you open up those channels. Let's have you roll divert.
Alrighty then. Oh, that's a 7.
That's 7. You get to pick 2.
So I think my actions create an opportunity for me or someone else, as it does lure these people in.
Okay.
Right as I'm, gonna set off this veil bomb in this area where the veil's already weakened.
Okay.
And we're able to slip away as I activate my intimacy onomastic special, and the two of us, as I sort of conclude this tale, and I imagine these iconoclasts are like pouring in.
Coming in, yes.
I just calmly stand up and finish telling Claus about the Warren as it sort of materializes around us in the midst of this explosion.
And you are gone. So I think with that in mind, JB, we need to move to epilogue here. Does that seem like a reasonable spot for us to do that? I'm going to start with you. Since you had last word here, I'm going to have you start this.
So I think JB's epilogue is it's with Claus and Aurora, as the three of us are inside the Warren. It's, instead of like the sort of dim subterranean dirt look, it's all lit up and sparking in electric neons. We're standing in front of a window looking out on this neighborhood where we had that final encounter, which is still like ragged and gray and green and devoid of the veil. As we step forward and through, bringing some of these roots and cables connecting with us out into this neighborhood, as the three of us begin to spread the dark veil through this area instead of the normal veil.
Nice. Nobu, let's hear your epilogue.
So I'm watching on my retro television how I beat up an angel.
Yeah.
In full detail, because Kata said she recorded that. And I'm just smiling and sipping my tea or whatever. And like, yes.
Yes, you got your highlight reel. It's going to look good.
Yes.
Awesome. Prime, what's your epilogue?
So, JB, did you say that you had Claus with you?
For that scene, but feel free to interact with them.
Yeah, so I think what you see here is a little bit of a... it's almost like a classroom with Jason and Claus, and the three of them are kind of, learning from each other more and more about humanity and the veil and what kind of life forms each of them kind of are. It's sort of like an incubator / classroom.
Oh, I love that.
Nice. Very nice. Eladine, you've seen so much today.
Yeah. And Eladine, he's going to be back in a workshop, whether it's his old one or a new one. He's going to be probably using sort of remote arms and whatnot to take out that cyber lock that he had, because it started glitching, I imagine, and that he just had to get it out. And I imagine him going through his old memories and trying to place where he knows Jason from, and going through like these memories of his family, and trying to figure out which relative it could be, or which friend of the family, or what, to try and place that. But I don't picture there being any answers to that.
Yeah. Why did they come for your family in the first place? I don't think we've ever answered that.
Mm-mm.
Do you know? Do you have an answer yet?
Don't think so. I think that's part of what he has to deal with, is to move on and try and figure out just one more mystery.
Oh, so many unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm.
Prime might
Awesome. And that's where we're going to stop. If that's okay with you, let's do that. Okay, that was pretty sweet. For me at least. So I'm good.
That was awesome.
Making assumptions. So, let's go ahead, if you don't mind, and do Roses and Thorns. So here's this actually kind of bothered me, and I wish I had done better with it. We had some NPCs on scene. We had PbtA and we had Aurora, and I kind of kept forgetting about them. And I wish I had brought them into play a little bit more here with your interactions. I think I could have used that for more color. I think that could have been more solid. So that's my thorn for myself for today.
Because you don't think we had enough going on already?
It would have been nice to have the callbacks at least, and I don't think I even did that until I was reminded. So that's a thing I need to be cautious about, because I get wrapped up in the excitement. I still need to have a handle on the bigger picture. Patrick, thorns?
I feel a similar sort of thing about PbtA, because I had made sure to like go to the trouble and work up components with her last time or the time before, and I kept looking for a good place to bring that in and do something with her, and I never did, and I ended up this time just replacing her components with something for Aurora, because that was more sort of active and in the moment. But yeah, I sort of let her fade into the background too. As far as one thing that I've seen as sort of difficult, a bit of a thorn for the system, as I was failing so spectacularly all over the place, as for a lot of us, this was an interesting story to see, like a story that definitely failed forward a lot of the time. But as I was looking at moves from other playbooks, there's a lot of moves and a lot of entire playbooks that it's not easy to see the way how you would incorporate any of their moves, like entire playbooks that roll off of Cyberbrain or your Omni tool or stuff like that, or just things that are so specific to their particular playbook that it's great that my advancement list has 3 slots for take a move from another playbook, and obviously I did find some other ones, but as I was looking through, I was like, well, this is an entire playbook I don't think I can even get into or use anything from. It's very confusing to see how you incorporate some of that.
Yeah, especially because so many of them run off particular resources. And I think you'd have to really house rule figuring out how to just say that X resource translates over for X.
Yeah, and I did sort of that with the denotation moves that I used, because they have an implement, I have hacking, they have the gatekeepers, I have iconoclast. It was a very close parallel. But yeah, some of the others get a bit further afield. Yeah.
And sorry, I was gonna note that this is also an issue in Urban Shadows, in which it's hard to multi-class because a lot of the moves are tied to their core moves, which you cannot multi-class into. So I noticed as well.
And my setup, at least for my improvements, is I get 2 chances to take a new onomastic move. I get 3 chances to try desperately to find another playbook move I can work in.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think
go on.
I was going to say, I think we all get that. Yeah, because I was looking at it again. Yeah, we all can draw 3 moves. And although actually I could say some of my moves I think could translate over to other players reasonably well. But you're right. Some of them are just so tied to the conception that you'd really have to almost rework some of the moves to make them work with your characters.
So I was actually looking through that myself. I'm 1 XP away from leveling, and there was one thing that I think would fit really well. If you look in is it the Architect? Yeah, the Architect playbook. One of the moves is Upgrade. Take an additional option from the Cyberbrain section. So whenever you take an option from the Cyberbrain section, it ups your Cyberbrain by 1. So I don't think there's much house ruling you would have to do. You could just take that as an advance, and then you would get a Cyberbrain. And what that effectively does is it would, in my case, it would be the interaction with claws and the elevation of the veil impact of that. So it would make you very, very good with the veil.
Interesting.
Neat.
Yeah.
So there are some ways through it.
That's the only way I was able to find. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
Maria, did you have some other thorns?
Not particularly. I think it's mainly that, and the NPCs like just disappearing after a while and reappearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
See, my thorn actually would be that this last session seemed very, very quick. It seemed like there was so much moving and so much going on. So I'm actually kind of glad the NPCs kind of melded back in until we needed them in the story and stayed in the background. But yeah.
Could have used a few more callbacks, I think. Yeah. Other thorns, Stephen?
No, the only other thing was I wish I could have failed that one more roll to get that XP. But that was it. Yeah.
And Christo, thorns?
Geary.
Yeah.
Because I guess, and I'm trying to figure this out because this came up and I saw this on one of the chats on the Gauntlet Slack. And yeah, if you don't have the honor bound, you lose a lot of the drive to use them. And the other thing is we played into each other's characters, so therefore we aligned ourselves and we didn't necessarily need Geary to force each other to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's if you're not at odds with each other, there's not really a good move to use Geary.
Right.
I've seen some people talk about the Veil that, the Veil's about, everybody doing individual stories that are not together and they happen to cross, which I think is fine, but especially for me in a short-term campaign, I want people to cross fast. I want their stories to move, which I think then it seems like that ought to support Geary, but it kind of doesn't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because if you're not interacting with each other, how are you going to be using your Geary?
Yeah, and also if you're interacting with guys at a group and they are gelling like you are, people aren't going to be pushing on those buttons very often, or they'll forget about it. Like until you said Geary there, I was like, oh yeah, this game has a Geary system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be like one positive Geary move.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the one where you can use someone's name to interact with NPCs, and that's not bad, but you need something positive you can do to like pay off the Geary or something like that.
Like it helps with a help or hinder move or something.
Yeah.
Or potentially another good use for Geary might be to have someone else come up in your scene to help you out to spend your Geary. That would force more interaction between the characters.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that steps on the Hound special.
That's
intimacy
right.
move, which we didn't use in the end, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the intimacy move. We just didn't spend the hold for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to say roses. I was at the start a little nervous about how, given all of the sort of interactions with the Veil and things that we had established, I was very nervous about how Nobu was going to fit in, and that I actually wasn't sure it was going to work, but it worked, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that arc very much. I enjoyed the bits and pieces. I love the idea of Nobu punching an angel. That will stick with me for a very long time. So that's my rose there. Really, really pleased to have seen that come full circle. Patrick?
I want to first say to everyone, thank you for a great game, and thank you for buying into a lot of the concepts that I put out there, because I was worried about the onomastic class. They bring this whole extra layer of the iconoclast. They bring a lot of like swerve into the story. And I was so happy that people were constantly, from character creation all the way through, willing to like buy in and go with that story and make it their own, so that we could all sort of work together into what I thought was a really cool story.
Honestly, I was looking at the onomastic, but you took it first, so. So yeah, no, that's legitimate. The onomastic is one of my top picks for playbooks in Core Veil.
It's been cool.
Yes.
Good, I dug it.
But yeah, so I'm glad that everybody went with that. Maria, I really love Nobu. I similarly to Lowell, like it's a worry of the three of us are so into this veil thing, some of us even more than others. How is it going to work? And it was this constant contrast of every time the camera would flip back around to Nobu, you just get reminded that the world looks nothing like you're imagining in your head. And that there's so much bullshit that just doesn't even matter. And Nobu was so monofocused that he couldn't get distracted by all of the vagaries that we were getting distracted by. And it was a great storyline drive.
Yeah.
I loved how Prime was the like beating, bleeding, emotional heart of this group as the cold cybernetic dog thing that only just recently realized it might be a person. And that was wonderful. And I really liked having Aladdin there as someone to bounce off of, sort of this like contentious friendship, where they really do get each other, and I think they really do like working together and being around each other. But comes with that is they really like getting annoyed with each other and blowing up and going over the top with each other, because it's someone safe to do it with.
And a nice contrast between, especially at the end, the emotional heart of Prime, and then Aladdin kind of becoming more cold and logical there in those last scenes. I thought that was a really nice.
It was a delightful group. I loved this game.
Had a good time. Maria, roses?
I really look forward to each time we play the game. It was great. I don't know what to say specifically, but I did enjoy the character dynamics, like as mentioned, and the whole it was a good story.
I had a fun time. Yeah, and you mentioned the character dynamics. That scene we had last time, was such a great build up to that.
Yeah.
Steven, roses?
Yeah. I really like the way that I think all of our beliefs kind of intermeshed. Making a callback to the last session, it seemed like once we hit that, everything seemed to kind of fall out. It was like, oh yeah, I'm searching for my humanity, and we're looking through. I didn't know beliefs would really fall into it as much as it did, and I really like that.
Cool. Yeah, and I felt like we did better with beliefs than I've seen in some other games. So I felt good about that. Aladdin, Chris, you get the last word here.
Roses. Yeah, I think we did a much better job with beliefs than I've seen in a lot of other games. And again, it almost seems like the beliefs in Geary are sort of balances that I think you're either going to do well with one or the other, because depending on how the team works, it seems to be what happens. I mean, you'd have to just play many more series to figure it out, but I think that's almost where it's going. Because I think in the Gauntlet anyway, I think we lean more into the beliefs than we do into the Geary, unless we have an honor bound with us. Another one, I really liked your smash cuts this session. They were fast, they were sharp, they kept the action going. I thought that was I think that was one of the best examples of smash cuts I've seen, because it really seemed to be flowing well.
Oh, good.
And I know that meant you ended up dropping out the NPCs, but I think the benefit was that you were able to do those very fast camera moves, if you will. And I think that was really excellent.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that, because I'm always nervous about that. So I'm pleased.
I totally agree there.
I agree, definitely.
Cool. I had a great time. I love the Veil. It was a great group. I love running this. I love the story. I love all the stuff. So super time for me. And thank you guys again. And I hope to again run with each and every one of you multiple times again in the future. So
Thank you all.
I'm going to stop this broadcast.
Thank you.